What's up, guys? Iceman here. Welcome, exiles, to the research institution. So, I've been holding off on this video. Alright? Some time needed to pass before I reveal to you guys what needs to be done here and what the real problem is. So, as some of you know, about a week ago, the PoE team announced how they're going to put off some enhancements for PoE 1 and how they're going to focus on PoE 2, this, that, and the third. Now, the reality is, have you guys been playing this game? Be honest. Let me know in the comments below. I've put it off. All right, you check my videos. It's been a little while. I've been spending time with my wives. I've been spending time with my doggo. I've been hustling and shit. It's kind of where this video is going. I've been letting this shit bask. All right. Been thinking about this. So they have two games of kind of the same category. And I sort of get their strategy. They're like, oh, but they're two vastly different games. So we got PoE 2, which is going to be a little bit more user-friendly, a bit more combat-oriented. Then we have PoE 1, which is like a big number simulator or whatever. But here's the problem. And I saw this coming a mile away. I get it that the games are different, all right? But here's the problem. The audience transcends itself, even still. Ultimately, the majority of this base that likes to play these action RPG games, they're going to want to play the overall better one, right? And right now, it seems like that's PoE 2. I mean, it looks better. It's more enhanced. It has a better engine or some shit, right? That's where all the money's going. So I think that this company, they got themselves in a pickle where they're like, holy shit, we've divided our own fucking fan base. And here's how they did that. They don't have any competition. Think about it. Oh, but Iceman, what about Diablo 2? That's an old-ass fucking game. Oh, Iceman, what about Diablo 4? That's not even a fucking game. So it doesn't count. Diablo 4, a game has challenge to it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's barriers and you have to get good to break through the barriers. In Diablo 4, you can tune the difficulty way up or way down. So if there's a barrier, you just tune it way down and blast through the fucking wall. And the game's over. See? So it's not really a game. It's just some shit that you watch on a screen while you're clicking around. So it doesn't count. It's not competition for Path of Exile 1 or Path of Exile 2. So where's the competition at? Is it Titan Quest or some shit? Is it Last Epoch? That old-ass fucking game that I don't think is even quite finished yet? No. Those just don't have the audience. They don't have the views. They don't have the manpower. You guys see what I'm saying? There's no fucking competition. That's why they're in this pickle. They've created the fucking pickle. All right, now, I've been a hustler for about 15 years, all right? I don't even have a fucking job. Yeah, I have a house. Yeah, I have a couple wives. Yeah, I don't have many bills because I'm cheap as fuck. But with that being said, I've been a hustler, so I know what it is to have products, to make products. And here's something that I've learned even in modern times, all right? when you have two products, what you don't really want to do is just compete against yourself. When you compete against yourself, what happens is just like when you're competing against an actual competitor, it becomes a race to the bottom. How much more efficient can I get? How much cheaper can I make this product? How much more can I squeeze my profit margins to where it's barely even sustainable making these fucking products? You see what I'm saying? That's why you don't want to have to compete with yourself when it comes to products. I mean, it's one thing to compete with yourself, like, oh, have goals and try to excel in this and that and do better than what you did yesterday. But it's another thing when we're talking about two products that compete against, that try to siphon in the attention of the same fan base, and it's just yourself you're competing with. Because now they're like, shit, what do we do with our best guys who are developing this shit? Well, we're going to focus on PoE 2 is what they're doing. Now, they could do what Blizzard did, which is they start to faction off shit. They're like, oh, we got the Blizzard North, and they made the Diablo 2, but that's all done now. Let's just use our best resources to make Diablo 4, and let's hire another team to work on D2R or whatever. But as we see in Diablo, they don't do shit with D2R. And it's for the same principle. They don't really want to drive the Diablo 4 fans, if there are any, over to Diablo 2, right? So what we get in the final product is they're not adding shit. You know, there's stuff that we knew needed to be added to Diablo 2 for 20 years, all right? Why can't we stack the damn gems? It just makes sense, and it's dumb that you can't do that. Why can't we stack the runes? What the fuck? These things are really going to take up the whole stash. There's like 30 of them. Why can't we just stack them when they're the same? You see what I'm saying? So, and they actually intentionally sabotaged it, which is interesting. They made the Amazon a guy. I don't know why, but they took all the women out of the game in Diablo 2. If you don't believe me, just go look at it. Look at Charcy. All right, look at the Amazon. Look at the sources. I mean, it's like they're intentionally sabotaging it at this point. And I think it's because, well, partly, it's not entirely this. I don't want to go on to the reasons why, or the reasons as to what the entirety is of that, but part of it is they don't really want to have to compete with themselves. So they're backtracking a little bit. They're not doing any updates on D2. And they're only focusing on D4 because they know that it's the same sort of fans. And you screw your exponential growth, your compounding growth, if you will, if you make these two products that are competing with each other that are just racing to the bottom. Because that's just how it works. But, I mean, that's what the PoE 2 guys did, the GGG guys. I mean, good for them for making a good product, but yeah, they're in a pickle, man. And they made the fucking pickle because there's no real competition. And they just have to compete with themselves now. So which one are they going to devote the energy to? You can't both, you can't have two entities with, you know, you can't have both hands on the fucking steering wheel. There's only one steering wheel. You see what I'm saying? Because yeah, that's the problem is these fan bases, they intersect too much. Where there's not just strictly the guys who would play PoE 2 and strictly the guys, there's not enough of them. The vast majority are just going to be like, wow, I'm going to play what's hype. You know, that's the vast majority. They're going to say, I'm just going to play what's better. You know, I'm going to play what's new. So I'm looking forward to the updates and the final product. But yeah, the game's kind of in a pinch right now, isn't it? They must be making some executive decisions over there. Like, what the fuck are we going to do? And what have we done? But let me know in the comments your thoughts on these matters. What do you think the future is for PoE 1 and PoE 2? And I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Is there any real competition outside of themselves? To me, it doesn't seem to be the case, but I'm curious what you guys have to say. If you will, like this video, subscribe to the page, hit the bell so you're notified next time I post a video. Become a patron if you want to support the research, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace be with you.